Haven't made a video in a while, but I've been dealing with a pinched nerve, and it's been really, really painful. I've fallen behind on everything from videos to working on tanks to doing all kinds of stuff. So I am slowly getting caught up. I am feeling better. So I figured it's Saturday. I could do other things, but instead I'll make a video. So enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so for the cycling of this tank, basically what I did is in that last shot that you saw is the first time that I filled it up with water. I had some plants in there and some decor, and I ran it with chlorinated water that I put in for 1 week. You could smell the chlorine for like the first 2.5, 3 days. After that was done, went another 4 days. The water smelled fine. You couldn't smell any chlorine. Obviously, it all evaporated out. But at that point, I could use the chlorine to clear out any other bacteria or any other algae that I didn't want in there, and I could start from scratch and hopefully just introduce my own algae and bacteria. So the bacteria that I used was Microbe Lift Special Blend from Reef Safe. That's what the bottle looks like. I got it in a goodie bag from one of my fish club meetings, and it worked really well in here. I used their schedule, except for day 29. I had already run out by then. But also what I did is I realized that this is not a cheat. You can't take this and say, okay, I don't have to do water changes at all. What you do is you do heavy water changes at the start, but not heavy water changes. You do a lot of small water changes. So for the first week, I ran this. I filled it up with water without taking the chlorine out of the water. The next week, I added this and fish. I added about 10 Green Lantern platy fry. So they're already adding their waste to the system, and it's just a light amount of waste. And I added the micro blend on the schedule that they have on the bottle. What that did is it basically eliminated my ammonia spike and my nitrite spike. I tested for it. I never got one. I even had a little thing in case any that I got from my aquarium box, my little ammonia indicator, and nothing ever came up. And so this worked really well. The only downside is the bottle smells. This stuff smells horrible, but it works really well. Think of a combination of vomit, fish, dead fish, sewage, and death. And it stunk up the room for a couple hours, but with good ventilation, I was able to clear it out. The smell did go away after the initial application, and you added a little bit less every time, so it didn't smell as bad near the end there. My water change schedule then was the first week that I added fish. Every day I would do about this much of a water change. The second week I would do this much of a water change, but I did it every other day. The third week I would go down to about here, and I would do it twice a week. And finally that gets me to about here, and I do it once a week, and that seems to keep the water pretty clear. I clean 1 week I'll clean the substrate. The next week I will clean this. The next week I will clean the substrate, and the next week I will clean the canister filter. Now I got the canister filter about a month into this tank going. So that was the My Aquarium Box Mega Box canister filter that I won for the My Aquarium Box unboxing. And every week I added either a big fish or a group of smaller fish. So I added some more platy, but this time adult size. The week that I was doing the water changes at twice a week, I added the gold Brahmi. The next week I added the female Black Angel. She came out of 29 tall. She wasn't getting along with the other two. They were beating her up. She took her about a week to get to look this nice again. Now the male kept hanging around on this side of the tank. He was in the 20-gallon long, and he was definitely outgrowing that tank. But he wanted to hook up with her right away. They were ready to spawn as soon as I put him in there. They've spawned about 3 or 4 times since then. Originally on this leaf the first couple times, and the last couple times on this leaf right here that I've added on this Java fern. So I do a weekly change of about 30 to 40%, and basically it's been keeping the water clear, and staying on the maintenance has worked out really well so far. I haven't had any deaths or anything like that. No sign of sick fish. So far, I've been really pleased with how this has been going. I'm hoping these plants grow more. I'm going to add more plants in the nooks and crannies. And that kind of leads to what I was thinking when I did this aqua style. And basically, it's just jumbled. I try to fit in a couple spots. I get inspiration. Like I'll see a picture, I think, oh, that'd be neat to kind of create that sort of look. And they have neat pictures on my Fire TV when it's in rest mode. And these pictures are from around the world, and they have some that look like these petrified wood. And you know, I'd like to get on these rocks here eventually, somehow get it to where I can get plants to grow on the top of them. And I think that would be really cool. And just fill in all the spots slowly but surely. Add some other fish in here, but I'm really taking my time. The lighting is Aqueon. The lighting is the fluorescent Floramax bulbs. So they're really good for the plants. It doesn't make the algae grow too quick. I left the algae on the back because I only had one light on here for the first couple of months, and it showed me where the light kind of was enough for it to grow. And that would, I figured from about this plant on, I could plant in here, and these I added until I got this light here. And so now that it's all lit, I've got all, you know, starting to fill in with plants as I get them here and there. So far it's been a blast. I'm taking my time on it. I don't think there's any need to rush it. That makes it so that I have this tank for a long time. And it's nothing to take it and rearrange it a little bit if I want to add in more plants or do anything like that. I mean, isn't that half the fun of it? So I really enjoy the way this came together. Do I necessarily stick to any, like, you know, perspective formats? No, not necessarily. I think that what makes it look a little bit more natural. I just kind of pile stuff. I try to do like a section really quick, then stand back from it, maybe take a day and make little adjustments to it. So far the plants that I put in here have all been doing really good. The only one I struggled with a little bit is the Scarlet Temple. It probably doesn't do that great in gravel, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. I might try rock wool or something like that to see if that'll work in there with it. So with that, I hope you guys learned a little bit of something the way I did it. You can use that as information to try your own process of how to start a tank. Especially if you're a beginner, don't give up. You're going to learn a lot on that first tank. A lot of people say start with this size tank. This is my biggest tank, and I've got 7. And so a 20 gallon is a good size. You can work the same principles with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next Fish Behind Glass. Fish Bob.